Kaya's phone to be my voice. So I hope this works. I so appreciate your patience. You're still here. I love you. You're wonderful. You are the most fantastic people in the world. I just love you. Okay, I want to introduce, so if you can let us know if you're hearing us, if this is working, and then I'll let you know what we're doing here today, besides being crazy in the crazy universe. Again, last week when this happened, there was a whole reason for it, so I can't wait to hear what Kaya's intention was for today, because that's what messed up with everything last week. But we will see how this goes. Somebody, I don't know what's going on. Does anybody know about some cosmic event that's happening? Because that's we love to seem to show these, be the caricatures of these events, apparently, showing, well, this is how it works. So, in case you were wondering. So, okay. Let's see. Finally, good morning. I hear you, Julia. Okay, so this is working. Yay. Fantastic. Oh, my gosh. This... Again, thank you for being so patient, because on this side, we're just going, trying to be calm and trying to get out there for you. So anyway, so those of you that don't know Kaya, I want to introduce him. We teach the classes together. We do business together. He's the strategist of the company. He's the one that's what he does. He does strategies and knows how to, his brain works differently. That's what it means, okay? But he is so fantastic and so clever and so wonderful at what he does. He sees things differently, and that's where we get a different perspective on things. So that's where we teach these classes together, and he teaches a whole business perspective and business day, and it really gives a whole different angle to what we do spiritually. So that's where this is such a wonderful balance in spiritual and business application. So it's business done spiritually. All right. So anyway, I want to introduce my wonderful partner, Kaya Whitberg.
Oh, well, thank you, everyone. And I'm very excited to get the conversation going today. And I guess we're starting out with, what day is it today? It's Good Friday. And I like to take a moment to emphasize the good. And for whatever it may have been religiously, I think the good part is where we are right now and what we can be doing in our lives to really make the most of this experience that we're going through. It's quite a powerful experience, and this was predicted by Dolores many, many years ago. And it's pretty incredible when we think about the concept of the new earth. And I've been seeing the new earth concept now just floating around on YouTube, it's so often it's popping up on my feed. And what's really exciting is there's so many people out there that are really going with this information and pulling it in and processing it in a way that's special to them, and then sharing their messaging with the world about what they feel that the new earth is. And I think it's a little bit different for everyone, because all of our perceptions are different. We're like individual snowflakes in the way that we feel, in the way that we think, in the way that we believe, in the way we interact with each other. So all of our realities are slightly different, but we have a consensus of sameness and certain things that we've agreed upon when we came into this earth experience, like gravity, like love, like the way we reproduce, like the way we're attracted to things, the way we have fear, the way that we work with passion and desire, the polarity of the negative and the positive. Those are sort of the joint agreements. But as we look through things, we also have our individual paths that we're working through. And getting back to Dolores, I think it's just so remarkable in how this new earth concept that she first spoke of is spreading in a way that we're bringing it out to the world, we're sharing, and we're forming the new earth and coming to the new earth in united fashion and drawing closer from within and radiating out with our energy during this time when others feel that it's such a tremendous crisis. And now through these conversations too, have been checking in with everybody, and we've been tuning in, and it's been a very powerful time when we've been able to connect. And in particular this week, I thought it was interesting. I was zipping through, watching more YouTube, and I saw Jesus and the Essenes was one of the concepts that came up on there. And it was an interview that Dolores had. And I think that's appropriate for Good Friday. And maybe I could shift that back to you, Julia. When I think of the concept of Jesus and the Essenes, what was it like for you when Mom was coming through all this, when she was writing the book, when she was processing all of that information? Back then, I could just imagine how remarkable it must have been.
It was. But this, you have to kind of take it in the way it happened. You know, it was involved with several other things. Trying to work this out. I'm hearing that background, but it was in a line of several other things she was working with. And so this always took course over many, many sessions. When she would find somebody's information that was interesting or different, then she would keep going back and getting more and more. So it might have been over the course of months. It just had to depend on how much she could get the person. And so as this story unwound and she really understood what she was working with, it just kept getting more. It's like, oh my gosh, this is what's happening here. And she realized who this group was, because like Jesus and the Essenes, the person that's there is Sudi, and he's one of the Essenes. And it took a while to even understand what that was, because it just unfolds very gradually. And so then when she realized this is somebody in a mystery school at the time of Jesus, then it started like little by little that was unfolding. And then one day Jesus comes into the school, and that's when you get that whole thing. Yeah, so it's like, you can feel that as you read the book. You can feel that whole thing. It's like, oh my gosh, I bet they're talking about this person. So, and that's how it was for her. It's just like this big, unraveling a mystery. It's like, who could it be? Who could it be? And they were talking about whenever he would come in, they were teaching him, but they kept talking about how different he was, and he just had this life, but then they were all about these different things. And so when we have the missing years of the Bible, that's where Jesus was. He was off in these mystery schools being taught by these saints and different people in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So it was this, like I said, this is the beginning of her work. So can you imagine? She didn't have all the convoluted stuff yet and everything. This is beginning, and she's getting this. It's very cool.
Yeah. And the concept of when you say mystery schools, that I get this feeling like it's like a goosebump feeling or a feeling of excitement about mystery schools, definitely being in my past and being a part of who I was and who I am and who I will be. And back then, when you hear the term mystery school, I think of having to be very secretive about this information and realizing that if you speak about it, it could be the end of your life, right? And you look at those times and you see that polarity between beautiful information that connects us to who we really are, depth of what the universe is about, what life is about, in a way that's very loving and non-confining and non-restricting, that type of information we share that's spiritual. And I think everyone that's listening now, that's the question. Have you guys ever felt a connection to mystery schools? When I say mystery schools, does that resonate? I think surely it will, because if you're listening now, we've been in it at some time or another, whether it's Egypt or before that, or it's.
Yeah, these mystery schools have been going on for a long time. It's like this is how they passed down that information, and they kept it very insulated is the word. Rather than isolated, it was insulated and protected and just given to specific people that could keep passing it along and to keep it alive. And what's so beautiful is now we're back. I guarantee you, everyone listening on this show has been in at least one mystery school somewhere. So, and this has been part of what you've been doing. And that's why you are here now, you're getting it back so that you can disseminate it again and protect whatever you feel like inclined to do with it. But the beauty about it now is everybody can have it. Everybody can use this information. Everybody, whoever is attracted to it, can have it, and it's, I know Mom did a session once, and somebody was wanting to know. He says, I think I was in one of these mystery schools, and I knew all this stuff, and I want to know it. I want to have all the information I had before. And when they got to that part with the all knowledge, the SC, the subconscious, he just laughed and laughed and laughed. And she's like, what's the deal? And she's like, all he has to do is go on the internet. It's all there. It used to be where you only select few people can have it. Now everyone can have it. And that's because we're all back. See, we did that. We were the ones protecting it to get it to now so we could have, everybody could have it. We did good.
Yeah. It's just, that's remarkable. If we think about our experience now, is what we once in previous lives, what we once had to hide from, and have that resounding sense of, okay, protection and fear and watching our steps and watching our words. And now it's the polar opposite of it. It's like we are connected to these feelings and these vibrations that we have with each other, and sharing with what the concepts of what life is really about, the foundation of love, the foundation of being incredibly powerful, a being that's really unstoppable, a being that creates their own reality, a being that creates a reality that's based upon what they think and what they're attracted to and how they choose to step forward into it, and seeing the divine beauty of togetherness. I mean, since those are just a few of the beautiful things that we experience right now, and we can share without any fear whatsoever. And in fact, when we do share, it kind of spreads, and we talk about that reverberation effect of how love and energy and warmth and wisdom, how when we share those messages, and Facebook is such a perfect example for that, because in the business classes, when we go over that on the final day where I'm teaching, and we teach about when I'm teaching that we're stronger together than we are apart. And the example that I use is on Facebook, how when we connect on Facebook and we support each other and we just take a moment to comment to one another and we share a little bit of the energy and the feeling that we got from each other's posts, that creates such a strength. And not only does it empower each of us and we feel a little jolt of energy and positivity, but collectively, the Facebook artificial intelligence sort of realizes the power that we're sending and the vibration that we're sending off, and it's feeding it out to more. And it's kind of interesting if you think about that for a second, is that even though it's artificial and even though it's a machine and even though it's a business, it still resonates with the messaging that we share with each other and the positivity, and it knows to send out and it knows to expand. And that's a beautiful thing in how we're approaching this. And now, just as I speak now and I look and I see all of these comments and I see all of these people from all over the world that are tuning in, it's like Germany, France, here, Russia, Sweden, Kansas, Philadelphia, sending downloads, catching in. This really is an hour of power where we're coming together, and wherever we are, we're being united. And I think it's that parallelism comes right back to the mystery schools. Like, God, it's so refreshing to be where we are right now, sharing and connecting and having this time that we spend with each other.
I could get lost in all these things over here.
Yeah, it's great.
That's why I don't look at them too often, because I could get completely absorbed in all of your comments. I'm just like, okay. The portal is open. 5D is anchored.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The portal is open, and the path to transformation has opened, and we're realizing the limitations that we had set upon ourselves. And we're realizing now that we're breaking these limitations, that we're breaking, and the limitations in and of themselves are these systems, these big, weighty systems that are outdated, that are old, that were created sometimes hundreds of years ago, financial systems, sorts of religious systems, sorts of systems that connect us, systems that are our media systems. They're all breaking down and restructuring themselves. And it's so interesting right now how we're at the leading edge of this. And the time that we've had down is allowing us to think of new ideas of the preferred reality that we really want. And I think that's really important to note is during this time, really think about the preferred reality that you really want. Like when you wake up in the morning, take a little time to not jump out of bed right away, but just breathe and start to see the dream life, like your dream life. Just imagine almost like when you're a child and you see that everything's possible. Like start that this week, do a little experiment where just before you wake up, you start to walk through your dream life a little bit and you start to see exactly the people that you want to have in your dream life. And you can see a lot of our Facebook groups. You can see their faces. You can see their names. You can see their little emojis. Whatever is the symbol of them that makes you feel good, you imagine them come into your life and connecting with them. And it can be physical, can be emotional, can be telepathic, whatever it is, feel that sense of connection with them and then start walking around in your world and start seeing all the things that you want to see. A world when you're walking around with fresh air that's vibrant, with more green, with no pollution in the air, which is a cool byproduct. If you guys have been seeing the pictures, how little pollution there is right now. And imagining beautiful crystal clear waters and almost you going to your beautiful place and making your beautiful place a part of your daily life where you're actually visiting your beautiful place in your dream life. And then the things that you want, it can be physical possessions too, if you prefer to have some physical possessions too, because we do live in the physical. And it's okay to have these things and place them into their life. And we don't have to be monks or nuns. We can have whatever we want in our life. It's just like start living the dream life by first seeing it. And the more you do that in the mornings, the greater the inner connection that you'll have with that, the greater the energetic and emotional connection you have with that. And the law of attraction will start gaining the momentum for you. It'll start pulling you in. And the coincidence will start. The manifestations will start. And you'll be getting closer and closer into those things. And yeah, I'm seeing now it's just magical.
I'm getting so many visuals and so many things that you're talking about that it's like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it from that direction. So I got to share that. But before I do, first of all, thank you everybody for talking over here. But I have to give a shout out to my daughter because she was upset when I didn't acknowledge her last time. So my daughter's on here, Tiffany. Hi, baby. Anyway, when you were saying that, it was like, imagine the world we want, the beautiful, clean, all this stuff. And it was like, and they said, have you noticed these things are happening? Okay, let's put those two together. These things are happening because we've calmed down, we've done whatever we've done. And then you're saying, well, imagine these things, and this is the world we want, and do this. And, okay, could it be that maybe we created this because this is what we've been envisioning? This is the world I want? Maybe this is the avenue it just had to go to get there. I mean, we're acting like, we're not a victim, guys. This isn't happening to us. We are doing it. It's happening with us. It's happening for us. We are creating the earth that we want.
Yes.
It's us.
Yes.
We've got to understand just how powerful we are. So everything that you're saying we can do, we are already doing it. So just acknowledge and embrace who you are and the power that you have. And you already are doing. Because there are many people, it's like, well, when will this happen? When will this happen? And when can I do this? You already can. You already are. Accept it. Allow it.
It's really important.
It's like, this is so powerful.
Yes. And it's interesting to think about, by the nature of you purely thinking of it, you're activating it because that potential exists. It's out there because every potential exists. But when you think about it, it's proven in physics, it's proven in science now, its attention has an impact at the quantum level to manipulate the actual behavior of the subatomic particles. And setting your attention and focusing on something activates it and gives it a particular life into your world that's several times more powerful, right? Where you're getting closer and closer to that, and that reality probability grows and grows. So you want to take the time to magnify your potential. You want to take the time to magnify the probabilities of getting your dream world in alignment. And bringing nature into it is always a good idea. And we have these times now where we have these restrictions and we can only be in certain places, can only be with like certain people. Sometimes it's just you or your immediate family. We have a lot of restrictions based upon how we can interact and do our commerce. So with all these restrictions that are upon us, what is that showing us? What is still there? What is not restricted? Well, what's not going away is nature. The nature is not going anywhere. It's there for you. If you're in an area
and
that's
we're
a little,
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You are not going anywhere. Anytime things like this happen, you always have to look back at what is, like you said, what's left. It's you and what you're with. So that's, like you said, yeah, nature. There's always things. It's all the other things get pulled away so you can see who you are. You can deal with you. You can work with you. So if you're by yourself, then there's probably some work you need to do with you, just by yourself, and enjoy the serenity, enjoy the, like you're saying, the nature. And if you're with some other people, then that's probably who you should be working with. That's probably what you're creating for yourself. Okay, this is my situation that I can work with and get deeper into. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. It's like that you have that you never go away. Because I had something before where it's like everything was stripped away, and it's like, what does that mean? And they said because you always have you. No matter what happens, you will always have you. So develop a better relationship with yourself if that's what's needed. I didn't mean to interrupt, Connie.
No. There's chime in with any thought that feels right. There are no interruptions. This is all just a smooth flow. And I guess the final part that I had on that concept is that we are nature, and we're permanently attached to it. And just going out and breathing the fresh air as a part of your day, even if you have rules and you're in part of the world where you're only allowed to go a few feet away if you're walking your dog to the tree, you can still make the most of that time outside to just look at the clouds and take in your air and really get back to what the necessities are of life. I mean, when you really look at it, what does it take? What does it really take to make you happy? It's an interesting question to think about. But if you guys want to put it out in the comments, when I ask that question, what does it take to make you happy? Or what do you need? It's an interesting thing. It's interesting to look inside and see what that is. And I think for a lot of people, when you ask that question, especially now, you start to realize you don't need all the extra stuff. If you start your day and you do the dream life, you meditate a little bit, you realize just how amazing it is just looking around and seeing what life on this earth really is, how simple it really is, and how complicated we actually make it to be. So go out into nature.
Comments in there.
Go out into nature. Make the most of it this week. Make the most of your situation. Feel the oneness of nature that you are and the way that you're connected.
Jeffrey made a comment that the clouds are really beautiful. Exactly. Look up. They have said for a long time, look up. Look up. Look at what the sky is doing. Look what the clouds are doing. Not thinking, oh my gosh, it's something bad. Let's look at the beauty and the wonder. They're talking to us. So just explore it. Don't just be open to these things. The trees are talking. I mean, I live right here in the middle of all this stuff, so it's easy for me. But if you're not in a place that you can, just see if you can't. You can always look up and see the clouds. And if you have a tree nearby, go talk to it. It has something to say to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then this is an interesting Facebook Live that we're doing. We're doing it on the Dolores Shannon page, and we have a new audience. Well, some apart from the live test we were doing on the QHHT page. And it's a good time where we can discuss the concepts of what happens during sessions about nature. And when we talked about a little at last trees, but the tree consciousness is amazing. And when it comes into sessions, we've had sessions where there's tree consciousness that we've heard. There's the consciousness of the wind. There's the consciousness of the water, the consciousness of a rock, consciousness of the earth. And it's so fascinating just listening to these sessions or reading these sessions. And anytime I get through an experience where I'm learning more about these various levels of nature consciousness, I'm just so grateful that we got to a place where we can explore consciousness in this fashion through QHHT. And thank you to Dolores for being the groundbreaking, rebel, renegade, kindred loving spirit that took the chances and the risks to put this all together decades ago, when thinking like this would seem like crazy, like put you in a sane asylum for thinking of these things, of rock consciousness or tree consciousness. My, how far we've come. We've really come far.
We really have. And that's what we say, she was one of the beginning ones, that beginning of the wave, that was coming through. And we called the trailblazer. That's a perfect term for them. There's several people that were doing things like that. But see, they were in that similar environment, maybe not quite to the same degree, but very similar as the old mystery schools, where they had to hide everything and be very careful about what they put out there. And so, yeah, this was new stuff. It was really chancy. And a lot of people did say she was crazy. They said, oh, she's out there. So, and, but she kept going, and it's so cool because now time has caught up with her, and now she's like, oh my goodness, look what she did. Look, she was a groundbreaker for this new way of thinking, this whole new concept, a whole new, we had to really broaden our minds, like you said, to think that consciousness could be in anything other than a human body, and that we could possibly live anywhere besides a human on Earth, So that's, now, see anybody coming in recently, anybody new, it's like, well, of course you can. What's the big deal with that? I don't understand it. But you've got to see where we came from. It was so archaic. And now, and that's how you look to see what's happened. People say, I don't see anything. I don't see any shifting. I don't understand what you guys keep talking about. Well, let's go back 20 years. Go back there. Remember how things were there. This is what you have to do to see it. You have to go backwards. You could go 10 years, but let's go 20, and you'll really see it. But go 20 years, and then look back to now. Mm-hmm. And has anything changed? Are we viewing things differently? Are any systems different? See, that's what you have to do. And you can go into each different category. Has that one changed? Has the medical industry changed? Has this industry changed? Has this, that's what you do. And you're going, oh my gosh, it is different. How people relate to each other, how people relate to consciousness, how people relate to nature. All those parts have changed. That's the shift. That's the shift of consciousness. That's it. It's pure and simple. But you have to do that because we do it day by day, by day by day. It's so gradual and subtle that we don't see it as we're doing it. And it's just our normal. It's our new normal. Every day is a new normal. Okay? It's just when something changes abruptly, that's when we shake and we go, oh my God, how do we get back to normal? We have never been in normal. We always adapt every single day, every single minute, every single second to a new normal. And then we just keep progressing forward.
Yes.
That all just came in. So
beautiful. Beautiful. And when we think about this transition that we're going into the 5D reality, and we start to think about what the physical is, and the 3D, 4D, and when you think about the Earth experience in the physical, it's about going in from this place of pure love, of no limitation, of immediate connection between what you think about and what you perceive as your reality, and that pure, resonating, protective, all-loving, all-knowing energy. And you decide to roll the dice and go back into this Earth body that's very dense. And the feeling of the density at first is probably difficult to deal with. Suddenly you're a lot heavier, and we've seen that in your mom's books, and I feel it in the channeling as I sort of describe the human experience. And you start to feel that density, and then you realize that there's also a lot of polarity and relativity that you're working with. And we're working with that connection of being apart and being together, and sort of figuring out how that works, of male and female, of light and dark, of wet and dry, of these parts, these opposites, these paradoxes of the human experience, going away from that all bliss. Well, what makes it more difficult from the human experience, what would be difficult is if there was resistance to this polarity, and a resistance or a confusion between one and the other, and thinking you should be one when you're this one, and thinking this one's not enough to be that one, and having all these perceptions based upon that, and dealing with polarity in a way that you're fighting it. And I think now in the new Earth, we're beginning to experience a feeling where we're not fighting anymore. We're not fighting the differences. We're not fighting what we're seeing out there, which is a difference. We're not fighting what we're seeing with the news. We're not fighting what we're seeing with the information of the virus. We're accepting this reality for what it is as a transformation. And instead of stiffening up, we're loosening, and we're allowing, and we're realizing that we're seeing things now in 2020 vision because we can handle it, because we're capable now, because we're more flexible, because we're more malleable. And through this flexibility and this malleability, we're getting closer to that initial feeling that we had before we came here. And it's a beautiful thing to sort of share that and encourage each other to be a flexible self right now. When someone tells you, how are you feeling? It's really bad out there. If you've been seeing New York, it's worse. We now have more deaths than anywhere else in the world. How do you feel about that? And when you're getting that dense feeling of something that has a negative weight to it, think about how you can respond to that in a way that drops that weight and allows the concept to just float up, and respond in such a way of, hey, listen, I can't control what's happening in New York. I can't control what's happening with the virus, but I can control how I think, how I feel, how I react. With that, I have complete control. And I choose to react in a loving, positive, supporting, and empowering way, because that is my true nature. And that is responding in a way like that is connected to your soul, it's connected to the soul consciousness, and it's lifting us all up, and it's a great place to exist. These feelings that come through with this.
Well, that goes back to what you're saying, is creating the world that you want to live in. See, that's how you do that, is by monitoring what you're putting out there, what you're allowing in, what you're attracting, and so that is the control that you have. I mean, we want control. This is when we start freaking out, is because we feel like we don't have control. We want control. And like he said, this is when we, just loosen up and go with it. We created this to learn from, to do something from, to probably, again, create this world that we were wanting. This is on a global level. So this is a global effort here. We're all in on this. So none of us can plead innocent, go, I didn't know, I didn't do any of this. We're all in on this. So now embrace that and we'll go forward and then move with it. Now where I was going, you were talking about, I went completely blank.
Blank is good.
Okay, good.
Let's talk about blank for a second.
Our reactions, we are in control. So that's what we can control, our reactions to things. So, when you see things like that, you have two choices. You can get involved and with all the emotions and get fully pulled in there and be actually part of that world. Or you can go, you know what? We're all having our different experiences, and that's not my experience right now. I'm having this experience. I'm having this one where I'm really tranquil and calm, and I'm doing my things, and I'm working on myself. It doesn't mean I don't care. It just means I don't have to get sucked into the drama of whatever somebody's trying to create around that. It doesn't mean I can still help. If there's a way I can help, I will do that. But I can only control what I do. And so if it's directly impacting my world right here, then that's when it's calling for me to do something. Okay, I hope that doesn't sound insensitive. I don't mean it that way. I'm just trying to get that bigger picture of it. Because as your call, Mom always said, let's pull it back. We have to pull it back where you don't do all emotions removed. Then you get that big picture and you can see things in a more objective way, for lack of a better word. So, and then you get the understanding of what the roles are that are being played, what it is we're learning, what it is. Remember, this is a play. We're all playing our roles, and we're all doing this. Look at this grand play we've got going on now. We've involved the entire world. This is a big play.
And that in and of itself is such an incredible concept. When I sort of talk to people that are beginning their journey into spirituality, and the light bulb is starting to come on for them, where they're articulating the fact that their life is changing and there's something that's definitely different. And I notice that when I bring up that concept of life being a beautiful orchestration, almost like an extremely high-level play on Broadway, this amazing play where you're the main actor, the star of the play, and you've chosen your co-stars and your sets, and it's a grand design, and it's all placed in there for you to experience and to learn and to feel it. And then you walk out into it, and the most incredible part of it is that you get to make those subtle decisions in the scenes that you set. The scenes are happening. The players are the free will in every moment to make the magic happen with your play. And as a soul, we tend to travel in groups. So we tend to take these journeys with the other beings that we're attracted to, that we like, that we love, that we find interesting, or that we may have a little bit of karma that we need to work through. We bring them into the equation too, because we're settling some things, we're rebalancing some energies, and we're helping each other through the rebalancing of that karma. Even now, karma has a new definition for like 2020. Instead of karma and thinking of the locked in, I'm stuck in this, I have no choice, it's more like these agreements that we have to help balance each other out. And we talk about that a lot in the classes that we teach. So yeah, super powerful to stop and think next time you're stressed out and you just step back and be like, well, that was an interesting scene, wasn't it? You did a good job, other actor, other thought, other set, helping me to get the most out of that scene. It certainly was intense. I certainly feel alive now from that scene. But there may have been some drama, there may have been some suspense, but it's all part of that beautiful orchestration. It's all part of that play.
Okay, I want to address a question that's in here because it's about this, and that's actually talking about how we can work with this. Somebody's saying here, it's Helen. What about the anger one feels regarding the control over us? Isn't it better to feel the anger, really feel it, then work through it and let it go? How can one just pretend it's all good, yet inside the anger brews? That's very good, because you don't just pretend. You actually, that's what I'm saying, you're controlling you. That's the only one you have control of. You have control over your reactions. Now, if you're reacting in an angry manner to control, it's like I'm being controlled, well, then that's inviting you to look at it. You have a reaction to something, that's in your world now. And that's inviting you to take a closer look. This is something that you're working on within yourself. That's why it is created in your outer world and being brought up that way. That's how we do as manifestors. We can't always see the stuff within ourselves that we're working on. So we place it outside of ourselves, so it's right in front of us. Either we'll do it with another person, a situation, whatever, and then that presents to us to get a reaction, to show us it's a big deal. So then we look at it, then we work with it. Okay, so that's your first thing. And so as you keep working with it, it's like, okay, why is this making me so angry? That would be your things you want to look at. Why is this doing this? Why am I having this reaction?
Yes.
There's something in you that's going on. Maybe you have a thing about control. Maybe you are controlling. See, it's trying to show you something here, okay? Not saying anything about you. I'm just saying this is what you want to look at. Any big reaction you have, it's telling you something about you that you want to see. So you're putting it out there. So now look at it. And it's like, what part of control is really bothering you, and then look at that. Is that something you are doing? And you need to see that you're doing it, or maybe it's something you have a tendency to do. I don't know. But so let's look at that. And then as you keep working on that, this is how it works for all of us. As we keep working on it, then we'll be sent other things to see how we react to that. This will keep coming into our environment until we have it worked out, until we have it nice and calm and whatever it is we're doing. We're never pretending. You have your reaction, yes, because that's your barometer to how you are with the situation. So that's what emotions are so beautiful about. They are barometers to tell us where we are.
Yes.
So let's use them to work with that and see where we are and learn from it and work on ourselves.
Yes.
We can't do anything with anybody else. It's us. Those people are just viewing these beautiful mirrors for us.
Yes.
So that we can learn what we're wanting to learn to teach ourselves. Okay, so anyway, you were yes. So I know you have something to say, Kyra.
That was very, very, very good explanation. In that there were a number of points in there that really jumped out at me energetically that I thought were extremely helpful and extremely valid. The first one is kind of looking at what is anger, right? So let's take it up to a higher level. What is anger? I would say that part of anger is your capability of just saying no. When something gets you angry, it's the core of an emotion that is stopping you from moving forward into something or with someone or someplace, and it's your way of pulling back and saying no to something. That can be a part of embedded anger. Anger also has to have a presumption in it. There has to be something, you must believe that something is true in order for that feeling of anger to exist. So take a look at what is making you angry and looking at it and saying, okay, what needs to be true in order for me to be angry here? It could be a message. There's one thing that I see a lot now that, and some people are very passionate about it, and lots of other people are like, this makes no difference in my life whatsoever. And it's a controversial thing. There's a big 5G thing that's going on right now, and I see a lot of sort of conspiracies. You can call it conspiracy theory, or you can call people that are trying to unleash truth about something. What it is, I don't know, but I see that there's a lot of anger that's around it. And I could use this for an example. I would ask myself in this situation if the 5G concept is really upsetting me and how it's destroying society and civilization. Okay, what do I do about that? Well, the first question I'd ask is, what do I do about it in a way that serves me first and that I can feel good? And that I can feel good about myself, that I can feel healthy, and that I can have a high vibrational resonance. If I think about healthy, high vibrational resonance, and I think about something that I feel I need to express anger with, but getting back to that high vibrational resonance, we'll have that anger manifested in a different way that is going to help the world rather than shock the world or promote the world or tap into that anger to perpetuate it. So there's different ways of looking at it and dealing with it. And we could have an entire hour dedicated to anger. But I think we'll slow down with a simplistic version of it. I'll just leave it at that for now, is examine what's driving you to do it, and look at yourself and find a way of expressing that in a healthy, positive way that serves you and helps others. Anything less than that is a disservice, and it's a repropagation of negative energy instead of positive energy. And as highly evolved beings, we need to be able to see the difference between that which is negative and that which is positive, and that which the way we express ourselves in a way that's helpful and a way that's not so helpful.
You made a comment a while ago when I was talking and I went blank, and you said good. Someone's wanting you to explain what you meant by that.
Could you repeat that? Good question.
Okay,
please.
a while ago when I was talking, and all of a sudden I was on a rave and everything, and all of a sudden I just went completely blank. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I just went completely blank." And you said, "Oh, good."
Yes, blank is good.
Right, and they wanted to know what you meant by that.
Blank, when you're going blank, you're. I was going to have an entire conversation about this, so it's very interesting. I wanted to talk about the feeling of going through your week and then suddenly feeling like you blanked out, or you feel a little loopy, or you feel this burst of just totally different all of a sudden. You lose your train of thought, you just black out, and blank out, not blackout, but it would just seem like, what was just happening? What happened there? If you think about that for a second, you're shifting into your parallel realities. And that very well could have been a moment where you made a decision that you didn't want to go down a certain path, and you brought yourself back into a point of neutrality, to where in that point of neutrality, you're completely empowered to go in an alternate direction that serves you even better. And this is happening unconsciously, that you're going to this point of neutral and recalibrating and reacquainting yourself with a better path. It's interesting. So next time you catch yourself and you blank out, or you can't remember something, realize that it's completely good. Don't beat yourself up ever for going in this blank state. Go into this blank state and realize it's a refresh. And when you're refreshing in this blank state, advance with what is coming up now, because that's the direction you're meant to go. The blank slate has recalibrated you, and the very next message, just like in a QHHT session, the first thing that comes to mind from this blankness is the direction that you're meant to go. You might not have thought you were supposed to be there before you went into the blank, but you are after the blank. So yes, a little bit of an esoteric thought about the blankness, but hey, we're on the Dolores Cannon channel. This is fun stuff to talk about.
Good for it.
Yeah.
They want it.
And our memories we're losing our memories as we shift into the 5D world. It's a byproduct of the energy lift, because you really don't need to have a memory when you have divine synchronicity working for you. The things just happen, the things that just come. The memory in itself sort of applies the fact that you have to input some type of psychic energy to draw off the filing cabinet, to pull something out, to bring it in front of you, to look, oh, that's it, memory working. It's not like that anymore. You're getting instantly exactly what you need, moment to moment to moment to moment.
I love someone said that their computer froze just as when you were talking about the blank. This is what we're talking about. All of the different things will do it to show you what they're trying to say. So, and a lot of people are saying they've been having lots of blanking out, and you start wondering about your mind. I do that too. I'm like, oh gosh, please remember. And it's like, oh, it's right there. It's not early Alzheimer's. It's nothing like that. It's this stuff. We're in really interesting times right now. So anything is possible, and don't be going into the fear and the, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me. No, something's very right with you.
These are byproducts of ascension. Ringing of the ears, blanking out, weird losses of appetite, forgetting what you just said. These are all byproducts of shifting
Forgetting
in.
the earlier day, forgetting the day before.
Yes. And these are things, when we're experiencing them, we should congratulate ourselves for reaching another beacon and getting less and less physical and dense. And it's happening with me. It was like this week, it was interesting. There's times I just wasn't hungry and I was skipping meals and I just had energy and I was going and I felt great. And my mom was giving me a lecture. I was on the phone with her the other day and she's like, I think you're losing weight. Are you eating enough? And I was like, Mom, I just go in the flow. And when my energy is moving, I go with my energy. And I don't necessarily feel like putting the dense food into my body when the energy's already taken me in some direction. Because I get so excited with these thoughts and these ideas, and I'm working on building the level 2 online class. And it's very exciting what we're doing. And we get flowing and watching the videos and creating. And I was really in the zone this week and feeling that. And it was like my appetite was evaporating. And then it would come back, but it was evaporating for big periods of time. And I think that's another feeling, definitely like it's another byproduct of shifting into this lesser and lesser dense form and being more malleable and shifting.
And actually, that's great. See, I just went blank on the fly. Okay, what I wanted to say was, I think part of that is, our routines are changed. And I think that's where now we can just go, okay, what is it I want to do right now? We've been so many years on the wheel and on the rat race and whatever, and we have our routines that we do every day and all of this, and now it's all different. So it's like, I think that's where some of this is coming from. It's like, well, I want to do this now, and I think with your food, so you can change that. It's like, maybe I don't want to eat at this time today. I'm going to eat when I get hungry instead of at the structured time.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of opening it up to allow us to be whenever. I had somebody just wrote in and then said, please tell me a stiff neck is a sign of ascension. And then you were talking about flexibility. And that's what a stiff neck represents, is not being flexible. Think about a stiff neck. I mean, it's a neck. What does the neck do? It is moving the head from side to side, right? It has a lot of other things it does, but in this example, we're going to look at that. It's moving the head. It moves it around. When it moves the head, what is also moving? The eyes and what they are seeing. So if you have a stiff neck and it's restricting how you can move the head, it's restricting in what the eyes are willing to look at. Just saying. Anyway. Oh, someone's saying here, instead of saying I went blank, they're saying maybe just say I lost my train of thought. Whatever works for you. It's great. I'm trying to go through here real quick. What we have gotten, someone's asking if the subconscious shared information related to the test for humanity that is the COVID. If I'm understanding what your question is, no, it's not a test. It's like what we've just grabbed, just to use to go through this process. We do this all the time, especially on a global level. We needed something that was a global level event. And so we just use this to get to it's like a means to an end. Because these things are out here all the time. I mean, you've got to get this perspective. This isn't something that's new and radical. We have viruses all the time. We have things happening all the time. And they just go by. We just deal with them and we move on. At the time, sometimes it's a big deal. But most of the time, we just, then once they're done, it's like, okay, oh yeah, remember that virus that was here a while back? It goes back into its proper ratio and its proper perspective. And so, but we're just in the middle of the forest right now, and that's why we want to make it this great big ugly monster. But it's just something that we, as a humanity, chose to create, or chose to use. I don't know how to better work that.
Yes. Yes.
It's just like we were talking about the movies and the plays earlier. They were saying, you remember the director Cecil B. DeMille, Kaya?
No.
Okay, and I know it's from my mother's era. And these are the ones when they put on these huge productions. I mean, these are mega. They weren't within scenes. They were like the great big. I'm trying to think who might do that now. But they'd be like, they would always have things from the air viewing the scene. I mean, it was that big of scenes, and they had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, all the extras, and everything in there to make these grand productions. That's kind of like what this is. It's like the whole world is involved. So this is something, we did this to do this growth on this major level, the global level. It takes a big deal. This took a lot of coordination by us, our SCs, our higher selves, a lot of maneuvering, a lot of things to make all this work.
Yes.
Can you imagine the directing? the grand directors that are in place there to make this happen? Well, that's all under our direction. We're the directors. Okay, so I invite you to take that slant of it. We are the creators, we are the directors, we are not the victims. This is being done, we are doing this with everyone else. This is being done with us, for us, not to us. Okay? So just look at it that way. And just go, what am I learning from this? Why am I doing this? What is it I want to do? I mean, someone said, is this like a reset? When you're talking about, you think, yeah, it's like we were talking, it's like a global reset.
Yes. You have made a deal with the consciousness of the COVID virus. You made this deal in your template reality to come through around the year of 2020 to be the accelerator of great change of humanity, to be the mechanism that breaks down walls and breaks down structures, a mechanism that allows your force of good to be more needed than it's ever been, to give more power to your source of inspiration, to give more power to your vibration, and to allow your messaging to heal and propel the world forward at a much faster pace. The virus is your ally when you think of this for that purpose. Look to it with the positive definition. Look to it as a partner, and look to it as a source of good for the world. If you store it in your mind with that perspective, you will get the best possible outcome from it. You will see that a great German Shepherd that you take on as a pet can be a great pet, or it can bite people, and it can be an attack dog. The same with a pit bull. There's a reason for everything that's happening. And I give that example of the quasi-attack dog because it came up in one of our live sessions in our teaching. And they said that the German Shepherd was a great analogy to be the ego. And we thought in class that was really interesting, how it's just waiting and guarding.
Because it's a guard dog, yeah.
Because it was a guard dog. So that was that concept that just meshed up in my mind. It was significant when it came up in class. But that really is, just look at this virus in a way that supports you, in a way that is positive for you, in a way that is a tool for you. And then you'll get the best possible benefit from it.
Absolutely. And I think that's where I feel like, I'm trying to see if there's any, I know there's specific questions over here, but I feel like that's our biggest thing that we want to convey here is all of this. It's what experience do you want to have from it, from everything that's going on? This is just one thing, and it's uncovering a lot of other things. And that's its purpose. Like you said, we chose to work with it that way. Here's
a good question from Valerie 10. Very good. How can we better express ourselves authentically and with courage? There's pressing need on things I want to express and share, but I'm secretly afraid of being seen as weird and different. And on contrary, I feel at home here in this community. And I would say, Valerie, have no fear, because we're all in the same boat. Everybody here is weird and different in this world that we are in. The average vibration of an individual on Earth is something like 50,000 cycles per second. And the vibration that we're having now on this call that we're doing, the connection, this is closer to 200,000 cycles per second. So 4 times higher than the typical human vibration. And that's just, these things just come. I feel vibrations and cycles and numbers and things pop. And it's part of just opening that connection when I do channel and when I feel these higher states of consciousness. And what I would say is embrace your uniqueness and get used to being different, because this is your calling. You weren't called to come to Earth to blend in and to live the normal life. If you were, you wouldn't be here. You'd be doing other things. This would not have even existed. You wouldn't have read a Dolores Cannon book. You wouldn't know about Dolores Cannon. That reality would have just bypassed you, like 2 cars on the highway. You would have just passed. But something else, if you look inside, there was something that you've been drawn to. There are people that you've been drawn to. There are books that you've been drawn to. There's things that you've been drawn to. And when you focus on that which you're drawn to and not on what other people think and what other people are feeling and experiencing that might judge you, then you'll get the result that you want. Because here's what's happening now with the new Earth. Keep this in the back of your mind. Those people that are judging you, those people that may think you're weird, those people that may think you're silly, those people that may think you're crazy and should be institutionalized, those people are dropping. They're going to their version of this world, and you're taking the fast train into your version of this world. So you don't need to worry about it, because that's the direction that we're headed. And this feeling, this world that we're in now on this call, and all these beautiful people that are commenting and sharing love, that's what your world is comprised of, and it's filling up with. The feeling you have right now is filling you up, and it's extending out, and it's building your world. And that's why when we come here every week, we're filling each other up, and we're expanding our worlds, and we're building our new Earth piece by piece by piece by piece, by connecting, by sharing, by loving. Every time you feel something from your heart and you give it out, new Earth gets built. Every time you give a comment that you share, new Earth's getting built. Next time that you say something empowering to somebody, new Earth's getting built. We're all building this together. We're all the grand carpenters. That's what I say.
I love it. Somebody said, we didn't come here to be wallpaper, so take it with joy. I love it. So beautifully said.
Yes.
And Neville said, yeah, we're all weirdos, so just embrace it. Yeah, you guys are so fantastic. I love what I do. I love the people I'm in association with. I just, that includes you guys. I mean, we're all in this together, and you're just fantastic. Like I said, I can get all. 3 weeks ago, I woke up in the morning and I had to make an effort to bring the virus into my existence. I felt like it didn't exist. It was so strange and real. I can't forget this feeling. Yeah, see, it's your world. You can be a complete part of your world if you want it to be, or it cannot be. So that's it's like, just because it's on TV or just because it's there does not mean it's reality. That goes for anything. You get to choose what's your reality. And I know you guys can handle that because you're on this page. If you're into Dolores Cannon, you can handle that. Okay. Concept that everyone. Okay. I'm reading this. Boy, these things go by fast.
All right, bring on the questions. We're getting warm. I'm feeling like we're in the zone.
Yeah. If everything is stop moving. It should be. I'm struggling with the idea of leaving people behind.
common question.
That's one that's been around for a long time. Yeah, it's like when people are dropping out of your life, things like that. It's like I'm struggling with the idea of leaving people behind. Each person is a soul, a big grown-up soul, and on their own path.
Yes.
And so it's about respect and respecting people for being on their own path. You wouldn't want somebody to say, hey, you've got to join me on my path because I don't want you to leave me. I don't want to leave you. Let's go in this together. You've got to be on my path and with me. And it may not be something that you want. It's right for you. It's not what you came here to do. We are each about expressing ourselves and being here for the reason we came. We have very purposeful meanings that we came here for, reasons that we came here for. So it's just allowing each person to be on their path and just know ultimately we all have the same destination. It's just we all have different ways of getting there. So let's all enjoy each of our journeys. And then when we get to the destinations, we can all compare notes. Yeah, we've got to get over this thing. And I'm not saying, disconnect from all the people in your life. No, it's just respect. Respect people for where they are on their path. Because that's all we want for ourselves. Just be respected and allowed.
Yes. Yes.
I just do the same thing. And then and you'll see what happens. It's when you try to see that control again. We want to control who's with us. We don't see it as control, but that is what it is. We're trying to control this whole thing. Allow it to be. Just because it looks like they might be leaving doesn't mean they're leaving. It just means they're doing something of their own. They may be learning something in a little different way, and they may come back. We don't know. We can't control other people's responses and their things, whatever. You just do your role, you do your path, and do it the most beautiful way that you can. Do it with all the passion in the world that you have. Just be your passion, and that affects other people. But do it for the reason that to be true to you. That's the authentic thing.
Yes.
And then what other people do is their business. That's all we can do, guys. That's how we learn.
Yes. And that question is a question that I think is the most common question that we hear that's associated with the concept of the new earth. And the thing that I would like to add to that is if you're thinking about the fear of losing another, I would suggest that you think about the concept of loss in general, and then zoom up. Go up into a place where you see the big picture, where you are more connected to who you really are and what you know existence to be, and you will find that you are not capable of losing anything. You cannot lose anything. There are no losses in life because reunions are always there. It's just a matter of you shifting your vibration and your consciousness. This could mean the new earth. This could be a loved one. This could be a loved pet. This could be a lover that's on vacation here on earth. Anything that's not with you in the physical, that's away from you, and you're experiencing at a loss, it's a lie. There are no losses. Everything is within your reach. Just remember that.
And here's a question on the other side of that is what if you drop some people on purpose because they are stressful? Great, that's being true to yourself. If something doesn't resonate, and that goes with people, situations, events, anything. If it's not resonating, it's not in alignment. And that's why it's stressful. That's why something's off. It's telling you this isn't where you want to be in your soul mission and purpose. It's like it's not in alignment. So it's trying to show you, move another direction. Get away from those people. Get away from the situation. Whatever it is, there's something about that, and that's what those things are telling you. That's your guidance system. It's saying shift.
Yes.
And so it's wonderful if it feels that way and it's telling you to do that. You're following your guidance. You're just being true to yourself.
Yes.
And by doing that, then that gives an example for others to be true to themselves. Because if everybody would really be true and honest with themselves, see how we are following our direction and our guidance, and nobody's living falsely. And because it's when you're living falsely that you're so miserable, because you're not doing what you came here to do. Is that resonating, Kai?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, very much. And then
We're just really deep there.
I glanced and I saw a comment, and I was feeling something from what you were saying, and it was really profound. And but now I blanked. So I guess we're at a different place.
I love it.
And for you guys that asked the question, yes, I do channel. I channel 2 different star consciousness. I channel the Arcturians and I channel Sirius. And it does come within when I'm speaking normally. I feel these vibrations, and then I feel like an energetic part of me that's just rising. And I feel words that are just coming to you, like not really words, almost like novels. So much information that comes to me in bursts. And I'm getting to the point where now I feel like I can do it with my eyes open. And that was a challenge Suzanne Spooner. She's like, let's see what you can do with this. Maybe can you get your eyes open and to channel and do this? And I thought, oh my God, my eyes open? I can't imagine that, because when you close your eyes, it allows you to shut off everything. But now I'm realizing you can kind of live your waking life in a channeled state. You can live with eyes open, and you can see, you just feel that energy and you just allow it to go. And it's a path that I'm on, and I'm learning more about it every day. But the one thing that accelerates this completely and helps me with my personal development and development of the world is the feedback that I get from you guys. This is just play. We're just experimenting with thoughts and ideas. But yes, I saw that in the questions. The energy comes into me, and I feel this level of irresistible intensity and passion that's so strong within me that passion and that intensity matches the words. So they're coming through, and I'm speaking the words, but they get uplifted by this energy that I'm getting. And it's a divine dance with the higher self. And it's accelerated by your energies and your thoughts much, much, much more powerfully than me just sitting alone in the room and having these thoughts and meditating. It's accelerated by you guys because this is the physical world and you're bringing the physicality out of it. And it's also a reunion of our souls. Like, we all know each other. It's like a big hug for all of us, because we're not in the mystery schools anymore. We're here going through this incredible life of the earth experience. And just let's be clear about that part. This is the life we've waited thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years to experience the grand transformation of Earth. It's happening right now. How does that feel? It's pretty amazing.
Very amazing.
Another question. We're on a roll. This is so fun.
Oh yeah, Wei is asking if you could give a channel message at the end of the session. So I'm sure we can do that. And I think it's great because we both do that. You know, it's coming in more easily now for you. You don't have to go into a special trance or anything. It's just like you said, it's just coming in naturally. That's how mine does too. And so a lot of our things we've been saying today have been channeled, just to let you know.
Yeah.
So let's see what else is.
Yeah, just to kind of fine tune that. The thing that I'm working on now with that is when I full on channel, close the eyes, take the breaths, and get 100% into it. I just want to keep going, and it's amazing. But when I come out of it, the mind is just shut off for the rest of the day. Maybe I work on this, and maybe at some point the mind gets working better. But then when I go to do work and I'm like faced with the like 3D world decisions of this or that and this or that, I'm so chilled for the rest of the day, and I can't really think. And the people that know me and they're calling me to problem solve, and they're like strategy and problem solve, and I'm like, can't help you. I can't. I'm not myself. I'm in a totally different place. I'm on a permanent, I don't know, Valium or whatever you want to call it, but it's whatever when you feel no sense of anxiety about anything, no sense of pressure about anything. You just feel really, really good. But I don't know if I'm as much of a help as I am to people that are normally accustomed to a certain kind of me. So something that I'm working on a little bit. We can have one of these where I channel, I can do the full on, go into it really deeply. Won't plan not as much to do with the rest of the day. I would need to do that in advance, but I would love to do that with you guys.
But the way it comes through already is great. The messages that are coming through, they're fantastic. Someone was saying, I heard that being here now is like winning the lottery because of what's going on. Like you had to win the lottery to get here. And that is so true. I got that message early on. It's like we had to have a gold ticket to get here because we are master manifestors. Only master manifestors could come at this time because of the magnitude of what was going on. So pat yourself on the back. We are great and powerful beings. We just forgot. We just forgot who we are, what we're doing, and why we're here. Now we're remembering. And it's startling, and it's kind of going, no, that can't be true. That can't be our truth. No. Little old me, no. But yes, everyone, you had to have a golden ticket. Kind of like Willy Wonka. Have to have that golden ticket to get here. It was a high demand to get on this planet at this time, anywhere in this whole construct of time of like the 50s. There's probably like maybe 100-year wavelengths here, but it's like, and some people come in, some souls come in just for a few minutes. They come in and they leave just to say, I was there. So you're here. We're here, we're doing it. So let's not go to fear. This is what we were going for. This is why we're here. And we're showing how powerful we are by what we're doing now. So I saw somebody say, aren't we the ambassadors? Yes, we're the ambassadors. So and we are ambassadors by showing people who we are and being examples for others about who they are. It gives them permission to be their true, authentic selves. That's how we become and we are ambassadors. That was them, guys.
We are the intergalactic UN. And we are participating. And we'll find if you look inside, you probably have a fascination with other planets and other worlds and other star systems and UFOs. And you realize that you are part of something much, much, much greater. And you are actually an ambassador, an Earth ambassador, and have a very big role with that as well. It's interesting that you bring that up. It's very powerful. And it's sort of mind-blowing of now how we're really opening ourselves up. And we're really discovering that other planets, now the scientists are discovering that other planets are inhabitable. Wow! You mean out of the billions and billions and billions of stars that are out there and planets, Earth is the only one that can contain intelligent life? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We're really good at limitations. We're probably the best that there is in terms of limitations and working through limitations. But we're not the highest form of intelligence or the only form of intelligence that exists out there.
Okay, how do we accelerate waking up and finding our purpose?
Do you repeat?
The person's asking, how do we wake up and how do we accelerate waking up and finding our purpose?
It's already there. Get yourself into a state where you just remove all the filters that you use to hide it. It's the biggest, most powerful, robust nuclear reactor that's inside of you, brewing with limitless energy. It's what you feel at your core. It's your first thought that you have when you think of something that's beautiful and blissful and desirable. It's where you get when you drop the filters. So it's not something that you have to aspire to grab. It's already there. You just need to loosen up. Loosen
okay, I'm also
up.
getting it's something we need to accelerate. It's happening exactly as it's supposed to. Like you said, just relax with it. That's probably the best thing you can do for it. Just loosen up. I love that. Loosen up. Because they're saying if you loosen up with yourself, you'll loosen up with other people. Because if you're being like that with yourself, you're probably being like that with other people.
Yes.
Okay, so just that was interesting how they just made that tie-in. I think that answered somebody's question earlier. But, so many times I want to accelerate this. I want to do this faster, faster, faster. Instead of trying to control the experience again. Just experience it. Like you said, be in your bliss, be in your love. Go find what you love. Do what you love. That's the best way you can be you. Because you are here to spread energy. You are here just to be. But so many people want to do something. So that's where we say, well, then do your bliss. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes your heart explode. Because then, if you're here sharing energy, what kind of energy are you sharing now? See, that's the best way you can help others is by being your true self and know that you're waking up at your right time and the right way. Everything is always perfect. So there's nothing... it's like, again, like you're saying, if you're trying to accelerate it, it sounds like you have an expectation of where it's supposed to be. So let that go because, this is a saying I heard a long time ago in motivational talk, and they're telling me right now, it's like, don't should on yourself. when you're having expectations and I want to accelerate this, it's like I'm shoulding on myself. I should be faster. I should be farther. I should be somewhere else. I should be whatever. Don't stop shoulding on yourself. Okay? Just relax and be. You are perfect the way you are, and you are a perfect example for others around you just the way you are. Just do what you're doing and do it happy. Be in your bliss. And if you're not happy, it means you're not where you want to be. You're not doing what you want to do. Then change. This is a perfect opportunity to do that. That's why it's happening. If you can change course now, and no one's going to say a thing. You must be crazy. Look at you changing directions. They're forcing us to. How many people you're locked down, you're whatever, and you can't maybe do your job? You kind of thinking, well, maybe what else can I do? Hello, that's why you created the situation for yourself.
Yes. Yes. What were the most sacred, the most highly esteemed, the most regarded, and the most important jobs, if you want to call it that, or positions that you spend your time throughout the growth of our civilization? And if you look back, and we've seen this through so many different QHHT sessions, it has been the shaman, the medicine man, the mystery school people, the Essenes. You see there's a segment in every group that looks to the spirituality for the advancement of that collective group. And it's been that particular subset of the group through the history of humanity that has been on the leading edge. And now when we look in this world of 2020, it is even more magnified. It is our spiritual group. It is us that are all together right now as the leading edge, as the tip of the spear, as the drivers of our entire growth. And these jobs that we are performing will not be outsourced. They will not be denigrated. They will not be lessened. They will only continue to grow in their impact. They are not going to be taken over by artificial intelligence or layoffs or machines or robots. Technology can accelerate. We can advance with these technologies and ideas and AI consciousness, but the spirituality and the growth and the creativity that we provide is irreplaceable now and forever into the future. So take solace in the fact, when you think about your life, think about your direction, you always have this at your core, and this will always give you your strength, and developing this side of you will always, always, always serve you. You're never going to lose spending time developing your spiritual self. You're never going to lose learning more about energy. You're never going to lose sharing heart energy. and looking for within and learning more about yourself and sharing the messages that come from above through your heart and through your mouth.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
I feel like that was such a beautiful place. I would like to just close with that.
Yes. Okay. We can close up
tranquil and serene.
We can close up with just a couple of things. If you guys like, we talked about Dolores's books. If you haven't read some of them, you want to get some of them, head to Ozark Mountain Publishing, and you can support Ozark Mountain and some of our other authors that we have there, and the work of Dolores, the amazing work that she's done. If you're interested in learning more about quantum healing hypnosis technique, and I know sometimes we bring up certain words about the sessions and how we're exploring things. We do have an amazing level 1 online class, and Julia has a coupon code if you'd like to show that is for 10% off if you would like.
Well, I will say it because I don't have any paper here. It's in the other room, but it's lots of love.
Okay.
Okay.
That coupon code is lots of love, and it's for 10% off. If you'd like to go on, become a QHHT practitioner and join this amazing family. It is the greatest thing that has ever happened to me. I have to say, the QHHT community, it's just completely changed my life in such a beautiful way. And the relationships that I've formed and cherish and what I've learned about consciousness has just been incredible. So feel free to take advantage of that. And yeah, I want to say that, and finally, the last bit of news on that, I saw in the chat that people said, well, what about a level 2 plus class? What about something that's a little bit of an advanced level 2, but not the level 3 to bridge the gap between level 2 and level 3?
Yeah, we call it level 2.5.
Level 2.5. We will be creating something like that as well. It'll be a time when we can come together. It could be remotely, it could be in a group, but Julia and I are already flushing through what type of course we could create with that's really going to bring us together and take things to the next level and kind of like just turbocharge things. Wherever you're at, just put some fundamental ideas and concepts and learnings that can really take your training to the next level, that can take your practice to the next level, and also really lift your vibration as a human being and the impact. And anytime we do these things, when we come together, it's so powerful. When we do it in a structured way with an agenda, with a specific focus, it's really cool. So we've heard that. Thank you. I think it was Jeffrey that mentioned it. And yeah, it's coming. I think I lost. All right, Julia, I lost her on the visual. But yeah. I'd like to thank all of you. This has been amazing. Thank you for the beautiful session. We'll be back again next week. And much love, much gratitude, and a big, big hug to you all. Go out and make this a beautiful week. Stay in a very high vibrational state and share your love. Share the goodness that's inside of you and lift the earth.
And I'm still here if you can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, and I don't know what happened. Everything froze on my end, but I am still here. I love you all too. I ditto everything Kaya has said. You guys are so fantastic, and I love you, and I can't wait to be back here. And just know that we are all together, and we are all one. And let's just do our thing. Just be our love. You are fantastic.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much. See you next week.